ahead and call this meeting to order. I think it's just going to be us, which is, I guess that's a good thing. It's not controversial. Nate, and your last name is Epling?
Epping.
Epping. Okay.
Yes.
Well, we welcome, and we appreciate, I think we feel here at the city we have a great working relationship with the parks, and look forward to having you and continuing that relationship. So,
Did he get to meet each of you, Joe?
yeah, we all introduced
Okay,
ourselves.
good.
So, and I know we had everything that you presented to us as far as handouts and some of the master plan, and I know you're looking for a resolution from us that supports the master plan.
Well, yeah, let me
Okay,
just
I'll
start a little background. So Nate approached us right around the end of November, beginning of December of last year. Him and Tom James met with the mayor and I in his office, and they talked to us about this impending project that they have scheduled for 2019 at Lake Medina. It's kind of 3 phases, and I'll let him touch on that. But the first is the connection from Signature Square, the yours truly plaza there, to Lake Medina to improve access and add additional parking, as well as improved accessibility to the lake. The second part of that is to improve parking and access at the Granger Road trailhead over by the water treatment plant. And then the third phase potentially is the improvements at the dam and the lowering of that. I'll let Nate talk about the details. In my request, I did mention taking a look at the master plan and consideration of the resolution. And after talking with Nate, since he wasn't completely involved with that master plan, I think as we talked earlier, there might be some things that are changed in that. So as those projects come up, we'll probably maintain communication, and if something is on the horizon where there's a grant application, we'll visit that individually as a project to support. I guess I'll kind of turn it over to Nate.
Okay. So maybe you don't need anything right now.
Yeah, we might not need anything. This
Okay.
might just be discussion only, but
Okay.
per the lease agreement, the county, Medina County Park District did send us a letter notifying us of the project, but we felt it was necessary to come here as well to let you know. Turn it over to you.
Well, thank you. Again, I appreciate the invitation to come and talk about Lake Medina. I'm, as you know, new to the Park District. I'm somewhat new to the county as well. I started with the Park District in February of last year, moved here in March. I'm just outside the city limits. Don't hold that against me. We're on the square a lot. We love Medina, the city and the county. And I had a great opportunity to work with and shadow Tom James for the better part of 2018. The Lake Medina master plan was completed before I started, but I quickly saw how transformational this would be. First few times I had ironically in 2017, my family, we had a pool pass in Medina just because we found this great little neighborhood pool in the city. And we would drive in from Akron, once a week. And when we would come down 18, I always wondered, what's that little parking lot next to yours truly? Well, that's the lot for Lake Medina. It was never clearly marked, and it still could be improved. But I realized that Lake Medina is a hidden gem, and I had a chance to lead some young professionals in the Leadership Medina's Emerging Leaders Program last October, 9 or 10 young people. And I think only 2 or 3 of them had ever been there before.
Oh.
And they were blown away at how beautiful it is. So I had a chance to talk with them about some of the things that we had proposed. Because I wasn't involved in the planning, and particularly the beach swim area, it concerns me a little bit due to staffing and liability. I don't know if we want a resolution today, but the spirit of the plan is still good. This year, we do intend to make that connection from Signature Square to Lake Medina. That is tied to state funding, so we're committed to that happening this year. As part of that grant and that project, we'll also be improving the entry and parking and trailhead off of Granger Road. So those two things will happen this year. I don't have a time frame for those other projects that you saw that were illustrated, but essentially, our goal is to improve access to the water for kayaking and fishing, and we do have approval to cut essentially a shelf in the dam to improve access. We've identified that we want some sort of an observation tower, whether that's at the stairs closer to 18, near or on the pump house, or both. Maybe there's 2 vantage points. I think that would provide a really awesome opportunity for visitors. And then, programming component. We don't do a whole lot there at Lake Medina for programs. Maybe that would happen in the future. Kind of a third phase for us is a connection even further south. Though we don't have a written agreement at this point from Suma Health System, we have the verbal okay to eventually create a crossing over 18, connect through the Suma campus to a wildlife sanctuary that we own off of Smith Road. So in a few years, we'll be putting a small parking lot and a trailhead there off of Smith Road, and you could essentially walk from there over to Lake Medina, then hit Reagan Parkway and keep going to, business and retail and all those good things north of the square. So for this year, the connection to Signature Square and the Granger Road lot, those projects are happening. The other items that you saw, we'll evaluate. The only one that I'm skeptical of or take issue with is maybe the beach. That might instead evolve into just more of a better kayak launch. But those other pieces, parts are, again, true to what we intend to do.
Do you think the pavilion, that part, is that something that would still be something you're looking at, or?
If it's in the right spot, I was just talking with our planner today, our park planner on staff, and, I said, we don't really have a restroom here at Lake Medina, and the issue is flooding and water. It's in the floodplain, and even the porta potty that we have there, at times the lot's been underwater, the porta potty's been moved a little. So with all of these improvements, we really have to think about the placement, whether it's a restroom, which I don't know if it's possible, or a shelter. I don't know if there's a great spot there for a picnic shelter, but a possible shelter or observation platform at the lake, I think, is doable. Really to make it give it more of a sense of place and make the park feel like more of a destination. So it's not such a hidden gem anymore. More people are connected to it, more people want to go there and walk, run, fish, ride their bikes.
So when will you start the connection over to Signature Square? Are you thinking in the spring here, or?
Most likely summer. We've not bid that out or anything yet, but it is in our capital projects list for this year.
And that would involve a bridge over the Rocky River then? Is that
Correct.
how it gets over there?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Speaking of that connector, I have one question. Nate, I'm sure you're developers and you've looked at it. I went by there today and looked at it, and it looks like the connector is going to be on the east side of the Rocky River, there for the need for the bridge.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, it just doesn't look like there's a lot of room between Rocky River and the parking lot of the Signature Square.
You're right, it doesn't. If I may share the drawing with you, though.
Oh, see, it's a little segue there?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Set them up and I'll knock them
Before the meeting,
down.
don't you?
I'll bring this over for you. This is the connection. So this is 18 on this map. This is the existing parking lot. This little pavement circle here, this is where the stairs go up to the dam. There is not a lot of room to work with here, but it has been engineered. You
Okay.
can see it comes in not far from where I think the Yours Truly patio is over here.
Mhm.
You see the parking spaces there. So it'll work. I know Patrick's looked at it. I looked at some of the old files from the last couple of years, and he had made some notations. So
Okay.
it's not a, bike trail that's 10 or 12 feet wide. It's a connection to the
to the retail center.
How wide is it, man?
I think it's, I don't know that it's marked up here either, so I apologize. But it has been engineered to fit in that space, but you're exactly right, there's
Okay.
not a whole lot of room to work with.
Well, actually, that's what I was thinking, regulation bike trail 12 feet, I was thinking, man, it's gonna be tight,
Right.
but if
Right.
it's 5, 6 feet, then I'm sure, well, they know, I'm sure.
While I'm up here, this is the drawing for the Granger lot. It will be reconfigured from its current alignment. Right now, you kind of pull in here, and you're parking near the property line. Want to snake it in a little bit more. Our operations manager does not love these islands in the parking lots, so those may go away. We may reconfigure this actual layout, but our intent is to bring it in and you know,
Parking would
provide
be
a lot
further
more.
back then.
Correct, and provide more parking here on this side too.
Does this come before Medina planning, since it's our property?
I don't have that answer.
I think it does, doesn't it, Mayor, have to come before our city planning?
Even since we leased it?
It's city property, but it's in Medina Township, so, I'm sorry, I don't know the answer.
Yeah, the only thing I'm thinking about is, I know they love islands. They love parking, like,
Right.
making the parking lot have islands, so just, you might want to get rid of them, but it's like, if it comes before our planning commission, I've never been where they do not like plain parking lots, so.
Okay.
And I'm just telling you, I work for the school, so I know every one of our parking lot now has islands in it, and same thing, our maintenance guys are like, "Ugh, don't put all those islands in
Yeah.
here, but it's,
I'll check with Jonathan and then.
because I was thinking everything out at the airport still comes before
For local planning.
local planning, because it's our property, so it's our, we have, I'm not sure, but I double check that. So just a little, I just know,
No, that's.
they like to dress up parking lots.
That's good to
so.
know.
No, but it's nice, they do need more parking there.
They do.
And what grant was this to the state?
I believe this was the recreational trails grant, because we're improving access and connectivity.
So is that the one we're asking for at Northrop then too? Same?
No, that's land and water conservation.
Okay.
Yeah, the only, I mean, I think it's great that you're putting access from Signature Square. The problem is depending on the time of day, there's no parking there, period.
Yes.
Yes.
That is true.
Right.
I don't,
At Signature Square? Right.
Yeah.
Correct.
Oh.
Yeah, that
I mean,
lot
it's
is
just,
always-
parking's always full.
sure. And I, honestly, I don't envision people wanting to park here and go to the park. I think you'll park in one of the park lots and
Wanna go
wander
to the-
over.
There, do I?
And then this
Stop and eat.
becomes an amazing, you know, date opportunity or
Oh, sure.
gathering, you know, outing with friends. I mean, I don't know where else you can park your car in one spot and ride your bike, go on a hike, maybe kayak, and not have to get into your car again to have a bite to eat.
Right.
I mean, this is an awesome opportunity.
And I'm sure Signature Square is probably thrilled to have that connection.
I've not personally communicated with them. I know we have. You know, Tom has indicated, Tom James had indicated that, you know, partners were excited about this.
Isn't Mr. Coyne involved with Signature Square?
He's got some kind of connection, I don't know.
I
if
think,
it's-
yeah, I think he owns some real estate there.
An alternative to these, I don't know what you all think about an area for bikes, like a bike rack, instead of an island. And that way, if people want to, you know, ride their bike here and then jog on
That's a
the
good
track
idea.
or
Yeah. Sure.
whatever. And that way, it would, you could get them out of the way if you needed to for your plowers and not do that. You know, of course, we could come down and support it when it comes down, if it has to come down to our commission. I ran into that one time out at Sandridge. We had like a back lot that, you know, they're building a $2 million addition, and we're out behind the building, and they were telling them, well, we'd like a couple islands with trees and this and that. And I don't even know if it was Jonathan at that time, I think it was Greg Hannon. I said, look, they need parking, not islands of trees to get away when they're plowing. I could see if it was in the front. They've got very nice flower beds and everything else.
There's a park right
And that was-
nearby.
Well, that's what I was gonna say, this is
Right.
nature, so it's
Exactly.
like it's funny.
Well, and that was all it took to give them the parking, because they were gonna lose like 8 or 10
Oh,
parking
sure.
spaces because of these silly islands that were just gonna obstruct
Right.
everything anyway. So if we have to have that same conversation with the planning commission, we can come down and try that.
And the only people seeing that parking lot are people pulling in there to use the parking lot.
Exactly.
It's not like it's driving by. and
Right,
see.
right, right. Yeah, that'd be a nice enhancement.
Yeah, sure will.
Other suggestions, Jim? I don't know what you think about bike racks. Or is that an unusual place to have them in the bike lane?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I mean, if they were, I think it's a good idea if they're insisting on
Something?
islands, yeah.
Yeah,
The bike rack, I think, would, it's something that you can move and,
yes.
I don't know how many people would ride here and park their bike or come here with the intention to ride.
Mhm.
You know, I don't know, it's a good
Big
question.
thing now is the use the bike, get your app and use the bike, ride it
right.
here to there, ride it.
there's a lot of
there and
people, I
back.
think, that actually, with the trails from Reagan Park over, with the connection, to the lake there, I think there will be quite a few people.
One question I had, Nate, and I don't know how you feel about it. We have 16 miles of single-track mountain bike
Mhm.
trail at Huffman Cunningham and Reagan Park. And our volunteers have been pushing me for at least 5 years to see if there was any possibility of continuing that to Lake Medina. So
Hmm.
that, because there's an area a decent area of woods on the one side
Right.
of the trail.
Is that between there and Fort Road?
Right.
Yeah, the
Yes.
west side of the trail.
And I know there's, that's, depending
Is
on,
that down in here then?
yeah. And that's, since that's active recreation, I don't know how
Mhm.
you guys view that. I know we've talked about some areas off of Fenn Road to the
Okay.
Medina Marsh, and my understanding that was purchased with a certain type of grant where you
Right.
can only have
That's,
passive recreation.
That is very restrictive.
Yeah.
I'm not opposed to mountain biking. I have a mountain bike myself. The area in question here, I think it's roughly 14 or so acres. We did receive a donation of land off of, I guess there's a few parcels on foot that may be developed.
Yes.
Kind of the back half of that, and I know the church there owns some land.
Yes.
We've considered in the future doing something there, whether it's a mountain bike trail or more of a primitive hiking experience with some switchbacks, I don't know. I'm certainly willing to have the conversation.
Because I know we have a really large following from
Sure.
trail running to hiking
Yeah.
to mountain bike, so it's kind of like a mixed
Yeah.
use.
Mountain biking is something I've been asked about several times since October 1st.
Yeah.
And for us, I think it's just a matter of finding the right place.
Exactly.
Finding a group that may help us, take care of it, watch over it.
This group is amazing as far as,
Yeah.
They are.
we are really thankful how
And if
much work
that's-
they put
And
into it.
and they're literally right across the street.
Right.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that would work there, but it would kind of extend the opportunities in that little area.
Right.
So it's worth discussing.
I actually saw 3 coming down Reagan Parkway, 3 bikes coming up out of the, I think they got those paths
Today?
solid yesterday.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Gotta be dedicated.
They were dressed
They are
for it,
diehard.
but yeah, they were
One of the
still.
wind chill effect.
Yeah.
It's easy standing around in this weather.
Exactly, right.
Tell me no.
Yeah, that was probably the only question I had about the master plan.
Sure.
The only thing that I know that has been discussed a lot, and
Yeah, we have talked about in the future whether that's we want to do something there, more primitive experience, either a single track, narrow hiking trail, but mountain biking, I don't know, we'd have to look at
And
it.
you'd be connected to a good hard frame that's already there.
Sure.
So a lot of, this is the wooded area that's behind the church there, does belong to the Park District then? or-
Some of it does.
Because I didn't Mayor, doesn't the church have like a mile little walk there or a little trail there?
They've got a path and they set up a little chapel back in there, gosh, I don't know, maybe 60, 70 yards from the back of the church.
But it doesn't go all the way over to Lake Medina then?
No.
Well, I don't know, okay.
Yeah, it doesn't.
I know your dad worked on
Yeah, and
clearing
I've
some of
walked
that.
it. and-
Okay, I didn't know how far back it actually went.
Yeah.
So does
It
it go
goes
to?
pretty close to the back.
So almost to where probably the property lines meet then?
And those lots, if you all aren't familiar with it, from the church going towards 3 on the same side as the church, you go by there, there's,
Staked out there.
they got like little fences
Mhm.
at a couple ends and then a few trees and stakes there, so they sold that off. But,
The church sold that or?
no, whoever the property, it used to, they farmed it for years, and then I saw they were parceling it off. Somebody was asking the church about it, of course, because it's in Medina Township, so then I got the information from them that it was, they were breaking it up for buildable lots. But then, of course, between there and this, you have it bisected with the river. So probably the property that Nate's talking about, I take it is on the other side of the river, this parking lot side of the river, or maybe even on the woods up
I think it's
against
on the
river.
woods side, the hillside.
Is it?
Yeah,
Okay.
and it was, I can't remember the exact number, it was between 11 and 14 acres that were donated to us.
Okay.
I don't, and it was by the owner.
Yes, sir.
I don't think there was any restriction associated with it.
Right.
In terms of the type of trail that we could eventually build there. So we could definitely talk about some future uses.
Well, I like what you have planned so far.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Anything else for us at this point then? So we're not going to do a resolution or anything at this point, and we'll just.
No, I think we're just gonna handle it as time goes by and.
I'm happy to come back with updates as we have a little bit more solid timeframe for some of these improvements. and if we
That
short
would be great.
some
We would
things up.
welcome you to, you
Okay.
can always come to this committee. and-
Okay, great.
Oh, Kathy?
Do you want me to hold this particular request, or do you want to just come back,
I would say we'll probably just come back with a specific.
request for
Yeah.
support resolution?
This is great. This might be our shortest meeting. Bob's brand new, so I don't think it always works this way.
That's great.
Well, thank you, gentlemen.
Nice meeting you.
Yeah, nice.
Nice meeting you all. Thank you.
Good luck.
Thanks a lot.
And if we're awarded our grant, it'll be a great compliment.
Oh, definitely.
Get it connected. to Fourth Street.
Just such a big fan of the Park District, so really glad to work with you and do anything we can to partner with you. So.
I do value the relationship we have with the city. I think this is, the park has not been fully realized yet. We'll take it out of a hidden gem status and make it more of a gem.
Right. Well, I think you can tell the current administration and the current council, with all of our parks within the city limits, we are big fans of the park system, including the county parks, so.
So did you move to Medina Township or Montville Township?
I'm in Montville Township, just outside of the city.
Okay, Montville's
Really, one street over.
We've got a great partnership with Montville.
Yes,
so-
we do.
Yeah.
I live in Montville.
I thought I was moving into the city until it came time to do the paperwork at the office, and I went, oh, wait a minute, I'm just outside, so. I still play Medina as my home.
And your mailing address is probably Medina.
That's true, yes.
But yeah, again, Montville's great. We have so many good partnerships with them as well, so. Anything else for the committee?
No.
All right, we're adjourned. It's an easy one.